So, the concept on UNFCCC COP27, the context appears as follow. With reference to the United Nations Framework Convention for Climate Change, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Accords were promoted at recently held COP27 in Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt. Climate funding were promoted, like there are climate change and associated challenges which causes threats to the life of the peoples. Hence, they have decided to promote climate change. Solidarity were expressed by institutions and leaders for consensus building that so and so problems are dangerous and injurious for people residing in different regions, and climate funding was promoted, and solidarity were expressed by institutions and leaders for consensus building and consolidation of efforts for implementation of disaster mitigation program, that these are the causes for disaster, and it need to be curtailed properly through collaborative efforts of the institutions, and initiatives must be initiated for increasing consensus among the leader for consolidation of their efforts that could ensure implementation of disaster mitigation programs. Rationales are as follows: there are human induced alteration of the natural composition of the environment, like since industrialization we have established several industries, processed natural resources, and produced different kind of environmental products, industrial products. But on the basis of the nature of the produces, they are bio renewable and non bio renewable. They are biodegradable, non biodegradable. So the products produced by industries are deposited into the environment, like on earth, inside water, or into the atmospheric air compositions. And there's interference causes deposition of pollutants into air, soil, and water, and resultantly, the change in natural equilibrium of chemical composition of the biosphere causes a deterioration of the natural, physical, and chemical attributes of the related ecosystem, like industrial effluents are being deposited in like sewage, or sewage are being submerged into rivers. Then the natural composition of the water content of the nearby river would be polluted. It will cause problem, and like these interference causes deposition of pollutants into air, soil, and water. Change in natural equilibrium of chemical composition of the biosphere causes deterioration of the natural, physical, and chemical attributes of the related ecosystem. Resultantly, biodiversity are adversely affected because if there are pollution inside the water, then the oxygen carrying capacity of the water will decrease. Then the BOD, biological oxygen demand of the water, will decrease. Resultantly, there will be related consequences. So, resultantly, biodiversity are adversely affected. There are related health consequences for human, like more than 60 uh, diseases are emerged due to the water. So, there are related health consequences for human. Environmental safety protocols and frameworks are formulated that it could be ensured like this manner as Beltran works in Bihar as uh, National Green Tribunal is ensuring regulation of things as Ministry of Environment is functioning and as it was evident during last 2 years like there are related health consequences for human and these consequences should be dealt strategically. However, a recent statement given by Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus about organizing FIFA World Cup is an indication that he think that now the normalcy of the public mobility could be resumed with obedience of the related precautionary measures. He mentioned that although there are related health consequences for human, but precautions could help them to overcome the related challenges. Environmental safety protocols and frameworks are formulated and promoted for reference during policy formulation and implementation. That if these principles are being followed, then there will be safety to the environment. And if so and so frameworks are being implemented or effort for policy formulation and implementation, it will certainly improve the natural composition of the environment, which could help us to curtail the consequences related with climate change. The aims and objective to abide by all inclusive environment protection principles for conservation of the valuable like the aims and objectives of these treaties and protocols are and conventions are to abide by all inclusive environment protection principles that we need to promote and protect environment with the purpose of conservation of the vulnerable populations with the principles for conservation of the vulnerable populations like who are prone to different diseases who are prone to infections hence there should be obedience of all inclusive environment protection principles so that vulnerable populations could be protected and conserved from the consequences of the climate change and global warming. Like if there would be global warming, the ocean temperature will rise, which may cause submergence of the coastal areas inside the water. If there are alteration of the salinity of the oceanic water, which may alter the composition of the oceans, which may cause biological magnifications, as there will be more quantity of harmful chemicals inside the fishes. There might be loss to the coral reefs with reference to the global warming on polar regions. There will be excessive melting of the glaciers, which will alter the natural compositions of that respective region. There will be climate change. There will be change into the seasonal cropping pattern. Due to the change into the seasonal cropping pattern, agricultural activities would be adversely affected, and due to the appeared adversities, there might be crop loss. Resultantly, it's evident as World Food Program understand and promotes the concept of ensuring food safety for all. So the aims and objectives for these UNFCCCs and international treaties and conventions are to abide by all-inclusive environment protection principles for conservation of the vulnerable populations from the consequences of the climate change and global warming. There are scope of work that could be followed, observed, like commencement of baseline survey, the baseline survey for identification and classification of the hazardous pollutants for environment, like what are the groups of chemicals or other products that may adversely alter the natural composition of the environment. Hence, like the baseline survey could be commenced. So, the commencement of baseline survey for identification and classification of the hazardous pollutants for environment. The another level is like technological upgradation through research and development, like technological upgradation through research and development for minimization of the probabilities of the generation and deposition of toxic pollutants. Technological upgradation of the industries, of the machineries, could ensure improvement of its quality. Related research and development could be commenced for minimizing the probabilities and possibilities of the generation of the harmful pollutants, for reduction of the deposition of the toxic pollutants, and community awareness on health and safety guidelines, like community awareness could be commenced on health and safety guidelines so that they can abide by the principles for ensuring safety and security to the challenges of their life. Implementation of activities for reducing pollutants. Activities should be implemented so that pollutants could be reduced. Reusing renewable resources, like if there are a number of groups of products that could be reused, then they could be renewed for reusing and recycling pollutants. Municipal corporations play a vital role in this regard. Another aspects would be development and promotion of eco-friendly technology and products. Another aspect would be development and promotion of eco-friendly technology and products. And such development could ensure the what we can say ease of living for people. I would suggest a range of activities for implementation, like development of RFPs, request for proposals, that if so and so activities could be commenced, it could improve, it could avail solution to the existing challenges of climate change. Empanelment of institutions, like if RFPs were published and broadcasted in print media. Another initiative would be submission of the DPR, detailed project reports, detailed project proposals, in technical and financial formats, and on the basis of their uh, procurement, institutions could be impaneled. Impaneled, their program of activities could be assessed, and resources could be allocated to them so that they can ensure program implementation. 4. Control of the related consequences of climate change. Further monitoring and evolution of the commenced projects, like if initiatives are being taken, if programs are being implemented with a special emphasis to control climate change, then the related indicators of its achievements should be monitored and evaluated. Appraisal, there should be appraisal of the project intervention areas, and based on the performance, there might be renewable of contracts and assignments also. So these are the activities for implementation. Another step includes outcomes. What would be outcomes of all such activities which would be commenced? Disaster risk would be reduced in all nations. Disaster risk would be reduced in all nations, and this habitable planet Earth will remain habitable for future generation. So, in this manner, the required solidarity and financing could ensure proper implementation of the climate friendly projects so that disaster risk could be reduced. And the United Nations Framework Convention for Climate Change, COP27, United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction Institutions, UNFCCC, and other associated organizations should be regarded for obedience of their published guidelines or for resource mobilization. This consolidation of consensus would bring solution to the appearing challenges for ensuring improvement of the habitability of this planet Earth for us as well as for our future generations. In solidarity for habitable planet Earth, Chandan Kumar Mishra, myvidya@outlook.com, email to ckmishra@gmail.com. My mobile number is 8860827901. Thank you.